Hello, junior DIYers. For your kit this month, we have this really awesome shape, and it's going to be a jewelry holder. So these holes that are all around can hold your earrings, your stud earrings, and even some dangle earrings. And then these two pieces right here will be available to put your bracelets on. And we are gonna talk about how to make our really cool positive bracelets that are in your kit as well. But right now, let's just dive into how to make this jewelry, how to paint this jewelry holder. Okay, so when you paint it, I'm gonna paint mine white because I just thought that it would go with, it would help me be able to see all my earrings and things. So dip it in paint, dab it off, always dab it off, okay? Because less is more. And in this situation, you do not want a lot of paint, okay, girls? Because you don't want paint in the holes. If paint goes in the holes, you're right, you can't get your earrings in there. So we're gonna go with very little paint so that the paint doesn't drip in the holes. Close those holes, and now they're not workable spots for you to use with your earrings, okay? So this process is going to be one that will take some patience. Now what's fun is that you can do the other side as well, paint the other side. So maybe you wanna paint that one, that side a different color and test out colors. Maybe you wanna paint these ombre. Maybe you don't wanna paint it at all. Okay, so just less is more, meaning tissue paper thickness. Tissue paper is not very thick, so your paint should not be very thick at all, okay? And you'll see that I keep going back and forth over the same spots. That's because it's not dry yet, so I can without picking up any. Now you'll notice that these edges are black, okay? I'm trying not to get my paint on the edges because this has been cut on a laser, which means that the edges are burnt and clean. If you want to paint your edges, that's okay. Go for it. This is your project, right? But you do not have to paint the edges, and that's why I'm just trying to dab very lightly and not get paint on the edges so that I don't have to paint them. Okay? So grab your sponge, grab your paint, and let's get dabbing. Okay, so you watched me paint that, and I did move and rotate my projects around, and I did do multiple coats. So as it dries, you might notice that you want another coat of paint. I'm looking at my edges, and I may want a little bit more white there to make it more solid, but for right now, I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry, and the base of the project, so the base of this, we're gonna stand this in this block. Okay, because you want it to stand up so that your jewelry can dangle. Now, to paint this, you do not want paint in here. Do not, no paint in this middle part, okay? So when you paint this, you can take your sponge, and I'm gonna use a fun color, one of our accent colors for the box, or that I picked out, and I'm gonna just paint this on with my sponge. Not a lot of paint, as you can see, it's pretty light, okay? So a little bit of paint goes a long way. Now, you are seeing that I'm getting a few little rough spots, and that's okay. We give you sandpaper so you can sand it down if you would like after you've painted, just to smooth it up a little bit. You don't have to paint the bottom. I guess you can if you want. No problem there, right? If you like painting and find it really relaxing, go for it. I'm not going to paint my bottom, but you are certainly welcome to. So you'll just paint this block that will become the holder to your jewelry display. Okay, remember this paint is not washable off clothing, but it is washable off your hands. So always keep that in mind with what you're wearing while you're working on your projects, okay? All right, so this is painted. This is painted, and you'll be able to drop it in once it's dry and have a really fun stand. Okay, let's take a look at these fun statement pieces for bracelets. Now we're gonna show you how to put your bracelet together so that you can wear it, but if you want to paint it, which would be really fun, I wanted to talk to you about that. Now, your box might not have these sayings because this is the surprise part of this box, is we're going to give you different sayings. So to paint these, you could water down your paint a little bit if you want, or just really make sure that you don't have a lot of paint. Look at how much I've dabbed off, okay? And then you're just going to gently and can evenly, oh, that kind of looks cool like that, doesn't it? You're just gonna dab. So this box takes a lot of patience because we can't just slap a lot of paint on, because if we slap a lot of paint on this, guess where the paint's gonna go? You're right, it's gonna go in the letters. Now, let's say that, you know, accidents happen. Let's say that you did get some paint in the line of the letter and now you can't see the letter very well. Grab an X-Acto knife, grab a safety pin, grab something with a sharp edge and then just carve it out, okay? So look at how nice that looks. I love it. Okay, so the moral of the story is, right, girls? Not a lot of paint. Not a lot of paint at all. Now, I'm just gonna cut off the end because I think it would be fun to try this with a teal bracelet. Dab off as much paint as I can and put it on the tape, because as you notice, I'm holding the tape and not the wood piece. I'm able to hold the tape, and that keeps the wood piece down, so I'm able to paint it very easily. Oh, I love both of these. Okay, so that's all, girls, that's all. Very light, not a lot of paint. Let it dry, see if you need to come back for more. We're gonna teach you now how to attach your suede ties so that you can wear it as a bracelet. Okay, Deck It Out Juniors, we are now going to take a look at how to make these bracelets. Okay, so you've painted this bracelet bar. You don't really need to paint the back, but you certainly could. Okay, now we are giving you a variety of colors of suede leather ties. So you can mix and match if you want, or you can keep them all the same color. On this one that I'd made, I kept it all the same color, but for the purpose of teaching you in this video, I'm going to make my slide knot here a different color so it's easier to see. I'm also gonna work on a white backdrop so it's easier to see. Okay, so please know that this is your project, so mix and match as you would like. Okay, step one. You're going to take your two longer pieces, which in this situation, it's the gray charcoal color. You're gonna take the two longer ones, fold them in half. You want the ends to be even, or as even as possible. And you'll stick it through how it's folded. Sorry, there we go. It's folded. Stick it through the front. Have your loop here. Put the two ties through the loop and pull. Okay, repeat that with the other side. So take the one longer one, pinch it, push it through the front. Okay, putting it through the front. There's my hole. I pull my two through the loop and I pull this tight. Awesome. Next step, take your bracelet, take your two sides and line them up next to each other along the back here. You do not need to crisscross them. You just want them sitting next to each other. And then you are going to lay them down on your table or your work area, like so. Take tape, if you have some tape. I'm just using the tape that I used to paint my bracelet bars. I'm using those, or that tape, I ripped it in half. Okay, here's where you need a little bit of give. So make sure there's a little bit of give between the two pieces of tape. But I've taped down my 4 strings now. and I have a little bit of a give here because we are going to go under that with your short string. Okay, so this is my shorter string. Take that and put it underneath the 4. Okay, so left and right. We're gonna start on the left. Okay, so I'm gonna take my left string, I'm going to cross it over my right. I'm gonna loop it under just like you would normally tie, but instead of pulling tight, don't pull tight, okay? This is the string that started on my left, okay? So now what you wanna do is you're gonna take it on your left side, put it under the 4 strings, and then you're gonna pull tight. Okay, so you see that there's the knot on the left side. We're gonna repeat that process on the right this time. So this time you're gonna take your 2 strings, take the string on the right, cross it over the left, underneath, don't pull too tight, taking this string that was originally from the right, putting it underneath the 4, and then pull tight. Oh, my tape is coming undone a little bit. Let's try that again. We're gonna do a total of 4 knots, so we have 2 on each side. Again, we're starting on the left. We have to alternate. Take your string on the left, put it over your right, loop it under. Don't pull too tight. Take this string that came from the left, go underneath the 4. You're not going underneath the green one, you're just going underneath the 4 and pull. Okay, one more time. Take your 2 strings, we're going on the right first, so cross the right over the left, swoop it underneath. Take this string that was originally from the right, put it on the right side. Go, all you're doing is going underneath the 4, in my case the 4 gray, taking that green right there, pulling tight. Should look like that. Your knot should be on every other side. Okay, next you'll need to take your tape off, okay? And I want you to flip it over. And then to finish this knot, we are simply going to knot it regularly. Okay, so just put 2, I just double knot it, right? Like so. Okay, and then so this is how it's knotted, this is how it looks really good. You can take your scissors and just trim off your ends. Okay, so we have this part of the bracelet done. Your next step is to tie knots in these 4 ties or strings. You can tie a knot in each individual string if you would like, or you can take the 2 strings and knot them together. I prefer knotting them together because when I take the bracelet on and off by myself, I only have to pull this set of knots. I don't have to worry about grabbing and making sure I have 2 knots that I'm pulling from each side. Okay, so loop it through. I'm just knotting as I would normally knot. Got to get that little one through. Okay, and I'm pulling them down, making sure they're secured. You guys, that is your bracelet. So now, see, I've got this. You've got this, okay, girls? Okay, so this is how this works. You're going to pull, and it's best if you pull equally. Pull from each side, and this is a slide knot, so it will pull to tighten on your wrist, okay? So you might be thinking, wow, these strings are really long, and they might be for you, but I did not want to give you string that was too short, okay? So what I do when I put mine on is I put it on, and I flip my wrist over, and I pull until, see what I mean by just grabbing the 2? And I pull. And then there it is. Sorry about that. There we go. So now your bracelet. You'll have these, but you can cut these shorter if your wrist is smaller than mine. I just wanted to make sure you had enough. Okay, so if you cut these shorter, repeat the process by tying these knots. And then when you're ready to take off your bracelet, you just pull it out. And away you go. Okay, Deck It Out Juniors, this is your completed project. I hope you love it as much as I do. Your two small sidebars here are to hold your bracelets. You've made a few bracelets in your kit, then add to it. This is so much fun. So when you stand it up on your dresser or in your bathroom, your bracelets will be able to hang and your earrings will be able to be displayed. Please share with me how you create your bracelets and how you create your newest jewelry organizer. Thanks for creating with us this month, Juniors. We'll see you next time.